WHGE 95.3 FM. Coming up, the Open Eye. All right. Not too bad. Okay. Let's get them started. All right. Here we go. Those of us that indulge in or commit intellectual violence don't do so for the pleasure of mental masturbation or ego diddling. We do so because it changes the pressure on our people's minds and difficulties for women. Good morning, my children of the sun. Welcome to the Open Eye on WHGE 95.3 FM, the education advocacy station. I'm your host, third eye optometrist Patrice Gibbs. And as we always do, let's get it started. Every generation has its purpose. Ours is to reveal the truth and reverse the brainwashing. And you know, with all the things that have been going on and what have you, I think something that's important that we understand, especially in the Black community and the African diaspora and throughout the world, is how we view our women. Some of us get mixed up about that. It's very interesting. And of course, being a student of comedic science and history, I looked to ancient Egypt, which, we know is Kemet. In ancient Egypt, women were honored and respected as equals to men, unlike in many other cultures. They were revered as the mothers of all, bringers of life and wisdom. The people of Kemet believed that attaining great knowledge, spirituality, and power allowed a man to be symbiotically wear a wig or long hair, representing a level of accomplishment equal to that of a woman. This balance was seen as harmonious, with the woman offering strength and protection to her partner. A saying that still holds relevance today is, beside every successful man, there's a strong woman supporting him. This highlights the enduring recognition of women's vital role in both ancient and modern societies. See, if you live in fear of your woman to the extent that you feel the need to control her, and this is what's going on with American society. White women actually gave up rights to have privilege. And the response to this last election from white men, your body, my choice. What kind of crap is that? What kind of crap is that? That's a weak man. WHGE 95.3 FM, the Open Eye. I'll get my disclaimer out the way. We'll keep it going, all right. The views and opinions expressed on the Open Eye provided are those of the hosts, guests, and contributors, and do not reflect the policy or position of WHGE 95.3 FM, nor our sponsor, the Delaware Center for Homeless Vets. Any content provided by Open Eyes hosts, guests, or contributors are theirs and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, company, or individual. Yeah. Brother Jafar, I see you there. All right. Let's have a teaching moment here. Okay. You know, what the European would have you believe is that they created society, civilization. Yeah. Let me help you out here. I'll tell you 20 things that Europeans, just 20, a lot more. 20 things that Europeans learned from Africa. Agriculture. Africans introduced Europeans to crops like maize, sorghum, and millet. Architecture. African designs influenced European building styles, such as the use of arches and domes. Art. African art inspired European artists like Picasso and Matisse. I'm at the pause right there, because Picasso and Matisse were not inspired. Picasso and Matisse were thieves that stole African artistic expressions and claimed it as their own. Music. African rhythms and instruments influenced European music, such as jazz and rock. And it goes beyond that, because that also includes classical music. Look it up. Medicine. Africans share knowledge of herbs and remedies like quinine for malaria. And of course, they did a lot more than that. Okay, it wasn't just different remedies. Do you know where the Europeans learned the C-section in birth? They learned it from Ugandans. And of course, we know Hippocrates is not actually the father of modern medicine. Imhotep is. Hippocrates studied at the temple of Imhotep. Mathematics. Africans developed advanced science, advanced mathematic concepts, like the Fibonacci sequence. The Pythagorean theory, many others. Metallurgy. Africans introduced Europeans to ironworking and bronze casting. Hey, Sister Sherry, I see you. Navigation. Africans taught European navigation skills, like reading stars and using compasses. That was a big mistake. Yeah. Hey, Steve. Textiles. Africans introduced Europeans to cotton, dyeing, and weaving techniques. Cuisine. Africans introduced Europeans to foods like rice, okra, and plantains. They also introduced some of the spices and seasoning food. A lot of them, they still ain't caught on to that. Language. African languages influenced European languages such as Portuguese and French. Religion. African spiritual beliefs influenced European religions like Christianity. Science. Africans made significant contributions to astronomy, like identifying constellations. Technology. Africans developed innovative tools like the Congo diploma, a messaging system. Trade. Africans established trade networks and markets, teaching Europeans about commerce, because all they knew was pillage and thievery. Writing, Africans developed writing systems like hieroglyphs. Beauty and cosmetics, Africans introduced Europeans to products like shea butter and henna. Sport, Africans introduced Europeans to games like Mancala, a strategy board game. Social structures, Africans introduced Europeans to communal living and social organization. Environmental conservation, Africans taught Europeans about sustainable farming and resource management. Africa is the cradle of mankind. To my African people and truth lovers, I have this to say from our elders. Until the lion learns to tell his story, the stories will always portray the hunter's perspective. WHGE 95.3 FM, The Open Eye. Hey, hey, Brother Lawrence. Yes, indeed. Yes. All right, all right. Good morning. If you can control a man's thinking, you do not have to worry about his action. When you determine what a man shall think, you do not have to concern yourself about what he will do. If you make a man feel that he is inferior, you do not have to compel him to accept an inferior status, for he will seek it himself. If you make a man think that he is justly an outcast, you do not have to order him to the back door. He will go without being told, and if there is no back door, his very nature will demand one. Guard your thoughts. Never let anyone control your thinking. And with this holiday coming up, which, you know, we all participate in, let me tell you something. Something the Native Americans should have been warned that: do not feed the pilgrims. Warning: feeding the pilgrims may cause massive genocide. Yeah. Everybody study the history. You don't take my word for it. Look it up. Control the thinking. A reminder that enslaved Africans in the United States were often forced to celebrate white holidays, even though they had no agency in the celebration, and often experienced it as a reminder of their bondage. With the limited freedom given during these times, sometimes used as a facade to mask the reality of their oppression, this allows slaveholders to maintain control while appearing to give temporary respite from labor. That's from Brother Hameen. Thank you, brother, for that. That's real talk right there. You know, you're caught up in these holidays. Yes, indeed, Brother Jafar. Willie Lynch syndrome. Get caught up in these holidays and don't learn a damn thing. Yeah, I understand that, you know, it's a time for families to get together and this, that, and the other. You know, it reminds me of what some people do, you know. We're not going to celebrate Thanksgiving, but Friday we're going to have a big dinner. Are you kidding me? What's the damn difference? Cut that crap out. Learn something. And especially with what's going on now, you know, it's something I came up in the black church, but the church that I came up in until I was well into adulthood, I had left the church before then, but it had what we call liberation theology. And as Dr. Clark teaches us, if it's not a tool of your liberation, throw it in the ash can of history. Speaking of history, because of what's going on with the book bannings and the whitewashing of history in America, black churches in Florida are now teaching black history since the state won't allow it to be taught. Now, when you want to hide your history, it must be something really slimy, dirty. Yeah. You're ashamed of your own history? That means you have no intention of moving beyond what your ancestors did. You know, I saw a quote, I don't remember where. It said, if we're like our ancestors, they're like theirs. Yeah. Let me help you out with something here. Peace, Brother Jakeem. What if I told you integration was one of the most detrimental events to the black community? Black entrepreneurship decreased, black unemployment increased, black marriage decreased, single parent homes increased. They didn't integrate us to give us equality, they integrated us because we did far better than expected without them. And that's true. And look at, and this is an example I always use, Negro League Baseball. And what happened in Negro League Baseball, we gave up a multi-million-dollar industry to get one black man integrated into baseball. But I will not condemn those that fought against segregation, because they were not exactly fighting so much for integration as they were fighting for, one, to open the society and to be treated with respect. We cannot condemn them for that. We have to look around in our own communities and understand what happened. Look, have you ever seen a situation where a child was raised up in a very, very strict household? Okay, where their movement was constricted, where everything they did was controlled. See, that's what happened with us. See, when you come from that type of constriction, that type of control, and you're finally set free, you gotta go buck wild. So when doors were open and we were no longer treated blatantly as second-class citizens, when the society opened a little bit for us, we ran away from our own. So you have to understand that we have never dealt with the psychological trauma that we did with. And that psychological trauma, when the pressure of oppression was moved just a little bit. And you got to remember, we could not travel freely. Still can't, really. But we couldn't travel freely. We had to be very careful about where we travel. That's right, Brother Jafar, psychological trauma. You had to be very careful. We had to be so careful that there was actually a book called the Green Book that we had to use whenever we traveled away from home to stay safe, to stay alive. And actually, maybe we need that Green Book back. Because there are still sundown towns where it's dangerous for a black person to be when the sun goes down. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, and remember, when we did have a modicum of success, what I've always, something I've been saying for years. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Green Book showed us where we could and could not go. And what I tell you about black success. Okay? There's nothing a white man with a penny hates more than a black man with a nickel. Mm-hmm. Let me take a break here. WHGE 95.3 FM, Open Eye. I'll be right back. Excuse me. This is the Open Eye. I'm your host, Patrice Gibbs, third eye optometrist here. Okay. Racist people got one thing right in all these years. If we leave black folks alone, they sure enough going to surpass us. You know, I could never imagine, like, trying to cheat the system for 400 years. And then that same group of people still managed to start catching up with you. How do you have a 300, 400 year head start and people are still catching up? You stop folks from reading, from writing, any form of education, unity, marriage, and it still didn't stop these people. I'd be mad too. Yeah. If I was cheating for about 400 years and these people are still not down, like that would really piss me off. Like people don't realize how deep it goes. Because just looking at educated, strong-willed, beautiful black people bothers them. Like, damn. That would make me mad too. Imagine if you just leave us alone and to prosper, you wouldn't be able to do a damn thing with us. That's when Brother Rick speaks. The presence of black people is not the trigger for white rage. It's the presence of black people with ambition, with drive, with aspiration. The presence of black people who achieve, who refuse to accept their subjugation, who demand their rights. One of the ways white rage works is that it cloaks itself in reasonableness. Quote from Professor Carol Anderson. Yeah. Hey, we are some of the most resilient people ever. Nothing like our resilience. Look at what we've been through. And still, like Maya Angelou says, still we rise. Can't stop us. Yeah, and see people, why you always bringing up race? This is America. Why do you think? I remember that commentator that was running around, a little nice looking blonde hair, blue eyed white chick, racist ass hussy. And first thing, I don't see race, and then she was going to say the most egregious racist crap you ever heard. I don't see race. I'm a good person. Translation, I'm going to use my race of privilege to refute and deny the sufferings of those who do not have white privilege while at the same time erasing their personal and cultural history. Go to hell with that. And this same type of people, times I tell you, if a black person could say the word, a white person could say the word. If a black person can do it, why can't a white person? Yeah, why not? I tell you what, if a white person can cuss a cop out and not get killed for it, a black person should be able to curse a cop out and not get killed for it. It's from Jazzy Duran. If a white mass shooter can walk into a church and blow away innocent people and get Burger King afterward, then a black person should be able to get pulled over for a traffic violation and not get killed. If white people can storm the Capitol and smear feces all over it because their president didn't win an election, then black people should be able to burn down anything that we want to, riot, loot in the streets all day for all the killing that y'all do to us on a regular basis in this goddamn country. If a white person could build their whole career off of black talent and what black people have done that they had nothing to do with creating, but merely imitated that black person, then we should be able all over the internet sitting around doing nothing to get paid for it. And P.S., we know y'all say the N-word. You're not asking our permission. You just want to be able to say it without getting effed up for doing it. Yeah. That's right. You don't want the consequences of your actions. Yeah, I got something for you too. Just keep it moving. You know, it's something that a meme that I created. I'm gonna have to post it again. And what it shows is, you know the cat Tom from Tom and Jerry? Well, him and his other feline friends are standing around reading a book, and they are bagging up. They think this book is just hilarious. The name of that book, American Exceptionalism. It doesn't exist. We should measure the prosperity of a nation not by the number of millionaires, but by the absence of poverty, the prevalence of health, the efficiency of the public schools, and the number of people who can read and do read worthwhile books. It's a quote from W.E.B. Du Bois. So you have to wonder, how did we go from middle class to working poor in only 35 years? We were 300% harder, earned 10% less, and paid 220% more for stuff that costs less to produce since 1978. Actually, since 1980. I'll tell you how we got here. Never underestimate the power of large groups of stupid people. Come on. He was the worst president in history. Impeached twice, convicted felon, tried to stage a coup, sold state secrets. But hey, at least he's not an intelligent black woman. Never underestimate the power of stupid people in large numbers. Trump defrauded over 5,000 students at $35,000 each. That's $175 million. He settled for $25 million and walked away with $150. This is who is president-elect now. You talk about white privilege, damn. WHGE 95.3 FM, Though and I. Patrice Gibbs, third eye optometrist. Never underestimate the power of large groups of stupid people. Because 2 billionaires just convinced millions of poor people that other poor people are the reason prices are high despite record corporate profits and record amounts of billionaires. That's word. If Republican policies are better for the economy and society, why are Republican states the poorest, least educated, with the least well-paying jobs, with the most health problems, and have the highest dependence on welfare programs? Because the Republicans are incompetent, crazy, crooked, selfish, greedy, mean, and elected a fascist. There are 14 defining characteristics of fascism. Powerful and continuing nationalism, disdain for human rights, identification of enemies as a unifying cause. Oh yeah, us against them. Supremacy of the military, rampant sexism. What I tell you earlier, rampant sexism. Your choice, your body, my choice. They actually run around saying that to women. Control mass media. You know, it's something with Morning Joe and his partner Mika. They were criticizing the orange disaster for 4 years. Called him everything in the book. And as soon as he got elected, oh, well, we need to have access. So right out. And down to Mar-a-Lago and kissed the ring. Control of mass media. Obsession with national security. Religion and government are intertwined. Corporate power is protected. Labor power is suppressed. Disdain for intellectuals in the arts. Because since the Know-Nothing Party of the 1800s, they actually called themselves that. They didn't know a goddamn thing. Have we seen such disdain for intellectual endeavors? You have morons throwing snowballs in the Capitol in the summertime that they say, and so, but this just proves there's no climate change. Idiot. Obsession with crime and punishment. Rampant cronyism and corruption. And fraudulent elections. Yeah. Get Brother Misbah. That's where fraudulent elections. Yeah. Now that orange disaster and his cronies are coming back into power, they're going to do everything they can to further enslave poor and working class people. And of course, their primary aim, who they're really after, are black people. Now, a plan by the incoming Trump administration to slash government funding could kneecap Department of Veterans Affairs healthcare. And in an op-ed for the Wall Street Journal, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, one of the slimiest, racist bastards, and a straight idiot, Ann Coulter told that son of a bitch right to his face with her white supremacist ass, yeah, you got some good ideals, but I can never vote for you for president. You're not white. And he should have been told that. And she told it to him right on the air, right on video. And then they came up with this thing, the Department of Government Efficiency. A group of corrupt morons with no idea how to run government had come up with a Department of Government Efficiency. The most inefficient bunch of assholes. Are you kidding me? And they confirmed that they plan to target so-called unauthorized federal spending, a category that includes the VA's medical services. If you're a veteran and you voted for this, you're damn fool. What they say, the Department of Government Efficiency will help end federal overspending by taking aim at the $500 billion plus in annual federal expenditures that are unauthorized by Congress or being used in ways that Congress never intended. What they mean is they're spending money on poor people and black people and people of color. And they're going to put a stop to that. The fact that the Wall Street Journal took an op-ed from a racist, white supremacist, apartheid son of a bitch like Elon Musk speaks volumes to how screwed up the press is. With this Doggy thing, they're going to come after veterans. And I'm going to tell you, they're going to come after any group or any government department that may benefit black people. Because let me tell you something, whether you know it or not, in spite of the threatened mass deportations and what have you, okay, what they're doing is they're thinning the herd with that. And what they really want is other people or people of color out of the way. Because their primary goal is to turn back the clock on black people. Now, some of you Asian and Latino people that voted for Trump, boy, you talk about F around and find out. And you get ready to find out, too. Because then he weaponizes the military. And we're going to have military all up and down the streets, gathering up people, some of the same people that voted for him. I'm talking to some of my Latino brothers and sisters that voted for him. We're going to get very people that he oppresses, that he kicks out of the country. Oh, he don't mean me. He don't mean me, amigo. No, he don't mean me because I'm a naturalized citizen. Well, they dug up a law to denaturalize your ass. And they do that by declaring your birth country, or the country that they have decided to affiliate you with, as an enemy country. And so, since you're from an enemy country, your citizenship is going to be taken and your ass is going to get kicked out. Wake up, y'all. Wake up, y'all. Beware of the stupidity large groups. WHGE 95.3 FM, the Open Eye. WHGE 95.3 FM, Open Eye. Yeah, yep, you're right, Sister Sherry. None of them need to look to us to help them out. Nope, you're on your own. You're on your own. We ain't gonna help you do a damn thing. Nah. We helped your ass get in this country through the civil rights movement and the things that we did that opened up the society. It opened up the society for you too. And you got here and you turned your ass up for us to kiss. And go to hell. When they kick your ass out, I'll be standing there saying bye. I'm not going to be cold-hearted and petty like some of my people have declared they are and call ICE on your ass. But I might roll up on you, see how you roll. And see what your status is. I might come up and say, you know, I got a little pot. Anybody got any papers? And when I see your ass run, I'm just going to laugh. Christian nationalism is nothing but white supremacy and Christian drag. That's all that is. Can you imagine a face so empty that you think bringing prayer into school is following Jesus, but bringing free lunches is not? They want to cut funding for that because they want to cut funding for education. Oh, you're a Christian. Oh, okay, black person, you're a Christian? Right? Did you actually believe that being a Christian made you acceptable to them? Hell no. Never did. Christianity was nothing about control. You were not accepted. They did not recognize your humanity just because you went and got baptized. They still lynched your ass. They still kept you enslaved. Murdered you. Raped your women. Not only that, skinned you alive and took that skin and made shoes and bags and coats out of it. You ever heard of the delectable Negro? Tells you how they actually cannibalized us. Yeah. Christian nationalism is nothing but white supremacy and Christian drag. The Maryland General Assembly passed a law in 1671 that stated in part that any enslaved person who were or would be baptized as a Christian before or after their importation into the province would not be granted manumission, meaning given freedom. And give a damn about you getting baptized. Essentially, slavery was presumed to be a natural state for Africans. Now, of course, they want to bring Christianity into the schools. Superintendent Brian Walters in Oklahoma. The Bible is back in Oklahoma's classrooms. We are getting our kids back on track. All right? And they got this thing that, They want you to believe that the founders of this nation were staunch Christians and they used the Bible as their guide to write the Constitution. So that's why they want to get rid of the Department of Education. You know, this idiot, Superintendent Ryan Walters, he said they'll have a Bill of Rights in every classroom next to a copy of the U.S. Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, and the Bible, the effing Bible. Dude said, yeah, people don't understand American history. So put that Bible down and pick up a copy of the Bill of Rights and read the First Amendment. You know, the amendment that starts by saying Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. All right. Get this from the ghetto activist. Thank you, brother. And since America can't even tell you the basic truth about how this country's founders viewed religion, all right, the ghetto activist is going to let them tell you themselves. The United States of America should have a foundation free from the influence of clergy. George Washington. Christianity neither is nor ever was a part of common law. Thomas Jefferson. Brother Raj, I see. This would be the best of all possible worlds if there were no religion in it. Yeah. Steve, what John Lennon say? No religion too. The purpose of separation of church and states is to keep forever from these shores the ceaseless strife that has soaked the soil of Europe with blood for centuries. What is it, 30-year war between the Protestants and the Catholics in Europe? All national institutions of churches, whether Jewish, Christian, or Turkish, meaning Muslim, appear to me no other than human inventions set up to terrify and enslave mankind and monopolize power and profit. Thomas Paine. These are y'all's founding fathers now. The way to see by faith is to shut the eye of reason. Ben Franklin. I think I made my point, but to drive it home, no founding father felt more disgusted by religion than Thomas Jefferson. But don't take my word for it. See what he said. Erecting the wall of separation between church and state is absolutely essential in a free society. That's what Jefferson said. Slaveholder that he was. There is not one redeeming feature in our superstition of Christianity. It has made one half of the world fools and the other half hypocrites. Yeah. And the other half hypocrites. The day will come when the mystical generation of Jesus by the Supreme Being as his Father in the womb of a virgin will be classed with the fable of the generation of Minerva in the brain of Jupiter. And Thomas Jefferson. And it makes me think, like I said, I want to thank the ghetto activists for that. Good work, brother. You know, it makes me think of what Arius the Libyan, if you look him up, it comes up Arius the heretic. But what he said at the Council of Nicaea. Y'all know we ain't actually supposed to believe this, right? WHGE 95.3 FM. Dove and I. West Wings. Premium One by Patrice Gibbs. How you like that? All right. Now, I saw this going around the internets. I know y'all like how I say that. And this lie, this Southern white woman was putting out. What she was putting out there was she made false claims that black women were attacking white women in the South. And she issued her own FAFO. Now you come after her, or white women like her in the South, you're gonna FAFO. And this video was circulating on social media. And what she did was she made her page private after she got a big backlash. It's something that, you know, and what she's saying is that, she falsely accused black women attacking white women over their political views. And Desari Huzzy, who shared this mess with Christy Aldridge, a self-described Christian influencer, accusing black women of violence against whites because they didn't vote for Vice President Kamala Harris. Yeah, and she said she heard of black women ganging up on Southern white women, and then pretended to apply makeup with bullets, presumably hinting at forthcoming retaliation. Okay, let me tell you something, Christy Aldridge. They didn't stop making guns when they made yours. Like I said earlier, you know, you want to do these racist things without any accountability, without any consequences. Cowards. Just like the group of neo-Nazis who were all masked up in Ohio, in Columbus, Ohio, parading through the entertainment district, known as Short North, downtown Columbus, flying neo-Nazi flags, shouting out anti-Semitic chants, you know, racial slurs and what have you, all dressed in black and they cloaked with ninja masks and printed with red skulls and kind of large black flags. Yeah. It looked like a scene from Germany during World War II. And you know, it was striking resemblance to Hitler's SS guard troops, who were responsible for enforcing Nazi policies and overseeing concentration camps. Yeah. And their militaristic uniforms recalled the fictional character Red Skull, a notorious Nazi agent and the arch enemy of Captain America. Yeah, you know, and like I said, they had on masks. Let me tell you why they had on masks. Let me tell you something here. Yeah, I'm gonna go a little over today, but I still got some stuff for you. And I said this 4 years ago. Since Trump's election, racists have become emboldened and have felt the need to give full vent to their bigotry. There are stories all over social media of these people confronting black people, bragging about Trump's election and using racial slurs. Same thing. Some of these stories tell how many black people take the high road and handle the situation with calm and rational. And let me tell you about people like me. Warning, warning, warning. I am not one of those calm, rational black people. I am not always decent nor nice. I can be and am touchy and emotional. I do not handle insults well. Don't get it twisted or be surprised. One of you Trump fools get in my face with your newfound white privilege and call me the M-word, I'm gonna beat your ass or worse. You've been warned. WHGE 95.3 FM, the Open Eye. All right. Patrice Gibbs, your third eye optometrist. This goes in a little, so hold on, you have a little patience with me here. From Supreme Understanding. There's a man whose story explains everything because it happened before the era of written records. We don't know what his name was, but thanks to oral tradition, he is known as Yaqub. Yaqub, like the biblical Jacob, is a title that means usurper. Just as Jacob was later recorded usurping his brother's rights and inheritance. But 6,000 years ago, before the books of the Bible were written down, a man led a movement to make a people born of rebellion. One who would usurp rightful and righteous rule. They would be so averse to the laws of order and humanity that their nature would be associated with enmity to God. That's the term devil. When the Bible records Jacob wrestling with God, please know that Jacob was no hero, nor even a good man, just a patriarch to the people whose name literally means fights against God. The one who lived 6,000 years ago didn't alter the color of flocks of sheep, but of people who were like his sheep. All the ethnic types come about from geographic isolation, where their features become stronger and more alike, while more unlike those from whom they separated. After 6 centuries of inhabiting an island in the Aegean Sea, Yaqub's people became white. My brother Alfie calls it the Aegean event. Okay, don't get it mixed. I don't believe in the Yaqub theory. But this is making a point here. We never imagined a people who really ate flesh and drank blood. But that's what these people became. Not right away, of course. It took several centuries of being exiled to the harsh and hostile lands of the Caucasus to breed those terrible traits out. They never did. Okay, they never did. You had the Hittites, the Hurrians, the Amorites, and all the other people who went about the world raping and pillaging. These are actually traumatized people who wreaked their trauma on the world they felt so tragically disconnected from. I've explained that to you before, that if you come from a society of lack, then your very survival is always based on competition. Egypt fell, Mesopotamia fell, India fell, even China fell, even the black and brown natives of the rest of Europe fell. You ever heard of the Etruscans? I'll teach you about them next time. Over the next 4,000 years, they matured in their ways of war, but never lost their bloodthirst and desire to dominate the planet by force. Brother Vaughn, yeah. They never lost that because they came from a society of lack and competition, not a society of abundance. Ubuntu. I am because we are. We have no understanding of that. They have nearly destroyed the earth in less than 2,000 years. By comparison, the black people who came before them had kept things right for over 2 million years. Yet, these were people bent on destruction. When one would abdicate and turn their back on whiteness as their social order, they were outcast and left to die. Sound familiar? Still to this day, any white man or woman who turns on white supremacy to stand for freedom, justice, and equality, they get the burn notice. And not just from the rabid racists in their community, but from their own friends, family members. To this day, white folks eat their young, not literally, although that too is documented, but in the sense that whites will even disown or condemn their own children for an apostasy to be down with black folks. So when you see the white world at work today, it is important you see it all in context. Am I saying all white people act wickedly? No. I'm saying white society is wicked, and even the good white folks learn a lesson the hard way by actually challenging their own community on issues like human rights and justice. That's when it becomes clear what being white is all about. Okay, so I want to close with the byline used by the anti-racism publication Race Traders, which goes, treason to whiteness is loyalty to humanity. How do you see it? Tell you what, message to all the black people around the world. Let's make Africa great again. Yeah. WHGE 95.3 FM, the Open Eye. I want to thank you for joining us. Hope you learned something, because I know I learned something before I came in here. I hope I was able to pass it on. All right? And like we always tell you, destiny determines who enters your life, but you decide who stays. Therefore, value those who value you, and don't treat those as a priority who treat you as an option. This has been Open Eye. I'm Patrice Gibbs. Thanks for joining us. All right. Like I always tell you, global African supremacy, because the world was a much better place when the African ruled. I'm Patrice Gibbs.